Guys, Rooster here in Tennessee with a customer test video. Fatboy 4p-454. This one is for Bradley. He actually got upgraded into this thing because I made a mistake. I had an inventory mistake earlier this week. I thought I had more Carl built 200 HDs than I actually have, so I did not have enough to fulfill his order, and automatically upgraded him into one of these. Obviously offered him his money back, or he could upgrade to a little bit more expensive amp, free of charge to him, of course, and he opted to get this amp instead. So wise decision by him, I believe it'll work out well for him, and I don't mind doing that since the mistake was on my half. So glad to hook him up with this amp. 4p-454. Now we're going to hit it with about 50 watts PEP. They can handle 60, 70 watts PEP or swing going in. The dead key that we're going to put into it is I think about 1.5 watts is what we're running into it right now, and we may flip it up to 3 watts just to see what it dead keys with 3 watts going into it. But we're going to start out with about 1.5 watts, 1 3/4, something like that going in. We'll test it at 14.8 volts. Now I think the radio that he's using doesn't do quite what this Connex does, but after he sees the power output of it with a radio like this, he may decide to change radios. So if I'm not mistaken, I believe he's using around a 20-25 watt radio, which is really just going to cruise this thing along. It's probably going to run about like a 2-pill driving it that hard, but if he wants to get more power out of it, he can always opt for a little bit stouter radio. That being said, I'll just go ahead and key up. Hello, audio. Hello, audio. Audio. So about 35 amps worth of draw right there. And I'm just going to show you average power. 1000 watt slug, bottom scale. Now that dead key is with about 1.5 watts going in. It looks like it's dead key in about 40 watts, 1 3/4. Ooh, audio. Swinging about 225, 240, give or take, bottom scale. Audio. Now all I'm going to do real quick while we're on average power, I'm just going to flip my radio to high. Now this is going to be about a 3 watt dead key. And that brought us up to about what, 90, 95? That's probably a little bit more than I would probably run on the dead key side of it. That would be about max. Really, I'd prefer to stay around 75 watts dead key, 80 watts, let it swing the rest. But just for the sake of the video, you can see the average power came alive. So that's with the radio swinging about 20 average. On low, the radio swings 16, 18 average. But on high, it does do a little more average power. So swung almost 300 there. And just to show you, over 40 amps when you run it like that. We're just going to go back down to low power. And we are now on peak. So we're looking at the 1000 watt slug, bottom scale. Hello, audio 1 2 3, audio 1 2 3, about 600 watts PEP. This is a stout one. So this one is on the higher end of what these do. On the low end, they usually do around 450 with this radio. On the high end, 600 being about the most I've seen one of these do. So that's right in line with what we expect. You know, the 2 pills will do 250, 300. The 4 pills, 450 to 600 while we're staying on the key here. The 6 pills will do 800 to 1000, and then the 8 pills will do, you know, 1250, 1450, something like that. But this one's doing good, not falling back or anything, holding together really well. 600 watts PEP, and again, he may not see that output because his radio's not doing as much. So he may get, it only does 400 watts, it may do 350 watts. But with a 50 watt radio, you should see in the ballpark of 500 to 600 watts PEP out of this thing. Nice and cool, not warm at all. We stayed on it for a good bit there. Everything is acting right with it, showing the right current draw and everything else. So relay's not sticking. Should be a good amp. Should be a tough one. The 454s are good transistors. The only one of these amps I have left out of the 454, I have an 8-pill left, and that's it. And I've got a friend of mine that may be buying it. So, of course, you know, first come, first serve, but there's a good chance that he'll end up taking it. Really like how the 454s do. This is a pretty wicked little amp right here. Fatboy 4p-454. Again, I recommend 50-60 watts going in. I don't see any need to drive it any harder than I did in this video, but they will take more drive, but I don't recommend it. I would stay in that 50 to 60 watt range, swing, and then dead key somewhere between 1 watt to 3 watts dead key is probably where I'd be. And then just let this amp dead key 75 watts or so overall. That's it, guys. Rooster in Tennessee. Questions, comments, shoot me a text, 423-299-3535. Catch you guys out there. See you, bye.